Mama.
Hello, we made some changes.
You probably don't notice anything different in the room. Anyways, we love you.
Love you.
Bye-bye. Hi, I'm Kyle Burch. I'm from Parkville, Missouri, a suburb of Kansas City. Born and raised in this area. I'm avid outdoorsman, been that way since I was old enough to walk. Dad had a BB gun in my hand, taking me out quail hunting when I was starting at 3 years old. Duck blind from when I was 5 up. Grew up shooting anything from squirrels to rabbits, to ducks, quails, to pheasant. Got into deer hunting when I was 13, and shot my first deer then, and have been hooked ever since. And it's just been such a blessing to be passionate about the outdoors. My father was an avid hunter, as well as my grandfather, who actually was appointed on the commission in the state of Missouri. And it was a big part of his life. I think it's just been in my blood since I was born. And what a beautiful thing to have in your blood and to get exposed to at such a young age. We're sitting here at my home property, which is about 130 acres, surrounded with woods and lots of deer. And to me, it's not all about killing deer. It's about the beauty of the deer and growing them and the experiences you see and learning more about them, and living here, even though it's in town, surrounded by Kansas City. It's our own little paradise. So it's I get to see deer every single day and turkeys and get to enjoy that. So my wife Carrie and I have lived in this house about 9 years. We actually built it, contracted it ourselves, and we have a daughter, Jordan, who's 30, and a granddaughter who's 17 months, Madeline. We lost our son, Hunter, last November 20th, and we miss him dearly.
We have a tradition here at Chasing Giants where every year at Thanksgiving we try to release a special video, and these are not your typical hunting videos, but we try to show that human element. I've often said that the best thing that hunting ever did for me was the people that it brought into my life, and my good friend Kyle Burch is a perfect example of that. I first met Kyle a few years back. He was a consulting client of mine, but we quickly became friends, and today we're even business partners. But Kyle has a story that it's just heart-wrenching, really, and I think that it's every parent's nightmare. And I know that as we approach Thanksgiving and this holiday season, there's a lot of families that are going to be sitting down to that Thanksgiving dinner or Christmas or whatever, and there's going to be an empty chair at that table. And the pain is going to be there for those families, but when that missing chair should have been occupied by a child, by your child, the pain is magnified so much more. And in this video, we want to pay tribute to Kyle's son, Hunter, but at the same time, we want to remember all those other families who this holiday season, they have that empty chair at their table. There's someone missing, and especially those families who are missing a child, who's lost a child this year. So I hope you enjoy this video. Again, it's not your typical hunting video, but it shows the human element. Hunters are people just like everyone else, and that hunting is a common bond that binds us together. But once you peel that back, hunters, we feel emotion just like anyone else. And, Kyle, my good friend Kyle, is experiencing just a living nightmare.
As life takes it, Donna and I started this relationship out through deer hunting, which is a passion of both of ours. Through that passion of deer hunting and the outdoors, we have found many other common bonds, and our relationship grew closer and closer and continues to grow. We started talking about a lot of personal stuff, and Don and Robin have been by Andrea's side, their daughter, who many of you know is it was in a big battle with cancer, and we still pray for her today, and she still needs your prayers. So Donna had this rough year, and I was trying to be a friend to him and listen to him and give him whatever advice maybe I could. And shortly after that, I needed Dawn. I needed all my friends and all the prayers. And my wife Carrie and I lost our son Hunter on November 20th. And any parent that's ever lost a child will understand the pain that's involved in that. Anybody that's lost anybody they love understands how much that pain hurts, and you want them back and want to build more memories together. And you know, sometimes that just doesn't happen. Sometimes life throws you curveballs. Our son Hunter was a very passionate kid. As a little boy, probably rode his tricycle down places he shouldn't, and always was going 100 miles an hour. He just, you'd call it adrenaline junkie as a 3-year-old, and that just kept expanding. And he just loved anything that got his adrenaline going. He got into motocross. When he was in first grade, raced his first race in first grade, and absolutely fell in love with the adrenaline rush and the competition, and that led us into traveling all over and watching him excel into the motocross world, which was really his passion. Hunter loved to hunt. We duck hunted together, we deer hunted together every year, and he loved that. But his true passion was something that got his adrenaline rolling, and so we were all in on it with him. And you know, we wanted to give our kids whatever their passion was. We would like to try to give them whatever it took to see where that took them in life, because passion is such an important thing for all of us. Somebody that doesn't have anything they're passionate about, it's hard to get out of bed in the morning. You get something passionate about, you wake up with a smile and you want to go tackle it. So, you know, passion's one of my favorite words, that and hope. And I think they kind of go together. I think if you're a passionate person, it's easier to have a lot of hope. So through Hunter's junior high and high school years, he was a kid that was kind of on top of the world. He was doing fine and doing good in school. Had tons of friends, enjoyed his girlfriends like we all did back then, and just a zest for life, and just always joking around and smiling and having, you know, just a kid that's just full of life and full of passion. Then we started to see some things change, and couldn't really put our fingers on it. He went up to Northwest Missouri State after high school for a semester and came home at Christmas and said, "Mom and Dad, this isn't for me. I want to figure something else out in life. I'm just not enjoying what I'm doing, and I don't see the benefit of it." And so it was about that time that we started seeing some changes, and the changes being the lack of confidence and the lack of zest for life. And over a period of time, that just kept sliding away, and Hunter became more reserved, more time by himself, more isolation. And although he was passionate about cars, he had his own company called BC Detailing Pros, and he did ceramic coatings on high-end cars, and he had a successful business. And was passionate about it, but that still wasn't enough to pull him through whatever was going on with Hunter. And that led into depression. And when I say depression, I'm talking about clinical depression that you face every morning when you wake up, you face every night when you put your head on the pillow, to the point it becomes debilitating. It's hard to function. And through this journey, we his mom Carrie and I, which is my wife, worked with Hunter as much as we could. We tried to be supportive in everything that he did and tried to find out what's going on, and different doctors, and nobody wanted to figure this out more than Hunter, even to the point he'd just say, I just need to know what's going on with me. I don't understand it. And I have so much to live for, Mom and Dad. I got parents that absolutely love me. I have a sister that loves me. I got extended family around me. I have good transportation. I have my own company that's doing well. But yet, every morning when I wake up, Dad, I can't hardly get out of bed, and I don't understand why I'm not happy when I have everything in the world to be happy for. And we never could put our finger on it. And he fought this battle like a warrior. He was relentless in trying to figure out what's going on, to the point where eventually he lost some hope. And eventually he lost all hope and lost all passion, and life became such a drag and such a weight on his shoulders that he chose his time to go. So last November 18th, my wife Karen and I had to go out of town to a wedding, and we got back on Sunday, and I told Carrie, I said, I want to go check on Hunter. I just got a sense that he's not doing good, and needs his dad to come say hi to him. So I went over there, and he was at his house by himself, and I could tell he wasn't doing good. And we talked for an hour and a half. I sat there, hugged him, and talked. And I said, all right, you get some good sleep, and when I come over in the morning, we'll go grab an early breakfast before you go to work. And he said, okay, Dad, we can do that. I woke up next morning and I sent him a text, and I didn't get any response. And I sent him another text and didn't get any response. Got in my truck and drove over there, called him on the way, didn't get an answer. And went and knocked on his door, and no answer. I had a key to his house, so I went into the house and walked around the house, and unfortunately found my son. And he had chosen to move on to eternal life, and chose his time. And as a parent, when you losing a child is one of the most terrifying and traumatic experiences anybody could go through, let alone being the one to find him, was something that I work on every day. It's I work hard to walk through that fire and move on with life. And when I say move on in life, I'm not talking about moving on away from the memories of our son, because I cherish those. Talking about moving on as a parent, as a adult, and not letting a tragedy like this determine who I'm going to be the rest of my life. Because I know my son certainly didn't do this to hurt his parents. Certainly didn't do it to hurt anybody. He just did it because he felt like he was in so much pain and lost hope. And as a parent that loses somebody, you think it's a positive if you can say, my son or my daughter who's no longer with us didn't do this to hurt us, and certainly don't want to see us walk around in sorrow and in tears. They'd rather us move on in life and not forget them, but move on in life and be able to function and continue on as with the personalities and the traits and the passions that we have, because that's what they want, and that's what we're doing our darndest and to do, and to move on in life. And I feel like we're doing a pretty good job of it, and I'd love to inspire anybody else that's going through this, that you have two choices when you get up. You can go the right path, which is right back to the bedroom and in bed, or you can get up and you can move on, and that's what our lost ones would want us to do. And I just encourage everybody to walk through the fires and move on, because once you get through it, you feel better. And one of the many things that was beautiful about Hunter was he's very into his faith. His faith in God in his life was a really, really important to him. Matter of fact, he wanted a cross necklace so bad, and for his 20th birthday, his mom and I took him to the jewelry store and we got him this cross necklace. This cross necklace is one of the most important things that I have. And I keep holding on to this because he never took this off from age 20 to 27. And I will never take this off until the day I die, until the day I get to go back up and see my son and hug him and put this back around his neck. And that's why I wear this. But, in the 27 years that we had our son, he taught us so much, and he provided us with so many great memories, and really changed who I am, really changed who Carrie is. Understanding somebody that has gone through cycles of life where they're on the top of the world, and all of a sudden how quick that can change, and life is so fast and so fragile that really got brought to light to me. I didn't realize how fast life was and how fragile life was, and what people's struggles are that along their journey. But Hunter's journey taught us a lot, and a lot of wonderful memories, and those are the memories that change us, and are the memories that, as I look back, I try to focus on those. It's easy when Hunter's last 5 years were a struggle. And so pulling the really good memories out of those, because the memories that are the most recent and tough memories are ones that want to pop up into your head first. But really, you need to focus on all the amazing memories throughout his entire life that he gave us, and as the positive ones, and to let the other ones go out the back door. And Hunter, thank you for all the wonderful memories. It was only 27 years, but I sure the heck wouldn't trade it for 100 for any other son on the planet. Those were amazing years, and I love you, buddy. Through all this, I'm still super passionate about hunting. It's been such a part of my life. 56 years, or close to that, and it still is. And it's, in a strange way, it's really provided me an outlet. It's almost like my medicine. When I go out into the woods now, I feel at peace. I feel like I can sit in a tree stand, regardless if I see anything or not. But I feel like I can talk to my son there. I feel like I feel him on my shoulders in a good way. I feel like I do some of my best praying when I'm up there. It's just really good medicine for me. I was really worried about how I was going to be able to sit in a tree by myself after we lost Hunter, and nervous as one would be. And we lost Hunter on November 20th last year, and I didn't get back into a tree stand until after Christmas, where my cousin asked me, tried to encourage me to go back up to the farm and get in the stand, and I got the courage to do that, and I appreciate my cousin Bill for pushing me on that, and that will lead me into one of the coolest stories that I've ever experienced in my life. Hunter and I had, there was a buck, and I ended up calling him originally the Hunter buck, because I spent a lot of time up last year chasing this buck. Watched him for 3 years and decided I was going to shoot him last year, and played cat and mouse with him. And Hunter would be in Kansas City and I'd be at our farm, and we'd be texting, "Hey Dad, you see him today? Did you get an arrow in him?" And I'd text back, and it became a really nice light conversation for us to talk about that wasn't heavy, because there's so much heavy stuff going on in his life at that time. So I had this little journey with this buck going on, and never did get an arrow through him before November 20th. So when my cousin asked me to go back up there, I said, sure. I get in the stand, didn't see a single thing for 2 days, and it was perfect hunting conditions. I mean, weather was cold, barometer was up, everything was absolutely ideal. And this is a farm that I see 15, 20 deer every time I sit. And I didn't see a single deer the first day. The second day I saw a doe in the morning, sat there the entire day, and right at dark, I was getting ready to pack up, going through that mind process of I need to pack up my bag and get everything, squared away to get down. And I look up, and at 50 yards from me, this buck that I've been chasing all year long is walking directly straight line to my stand. And he stopped at 37 yards and gave me a shot, and he was following a doe. I knew I was going to lose him quick, so I took a little longer shot than I normally would. God was on my shoulders, and I made a good shot. He went 20 yards, and I lost it. I just knew it was almost like Hunter was back there going, "Okay, Buck, head towards Dad. Let's put a stamp on this long story that we've had together, this cool journey." And so we ended up naming him Hunter's Angel Buck, and most significant deer in my life that I've ever killed, and will always be. So Hunter, thanks for releasing him to me. It put a nice stamp on a nice ending to the story. So love you. I'm not sure I'm really qualified to give advice, but I can give you my experience, and maybe that could be something to try or advice. But it's a delicate balance when you're dealing with somebody you love that is suffering from mental illness. You don't really know how hard to push, when to back off. All you know is you love this person, and you're trying to do everything in the world to make them happy and get them back on track. And if I can encourage you, anybody that's going through this, a parent, a good friend of somebody that's going through it, or if you're suffering depression yourself, never give up. Never ever give up. Keep pushing forward. I just encourage anybody that's got a child or a friend that's suffering, stick by their side. Let them know you love them. Always tell them you're there for them, and be there for them. I didn't know a lot about mental illness, about depression and anxiety. I've really been part of our family. And so this was a new venture when we found out that Hunter was suffering so bad from mental illness, depression, and anxiety. And I would just encourage anybody that's suffering from depression or mental illness to reach out and to get help, and to find a little something of hope and passion that you can take and grow that into something, the next step, then a next step, and get yourself healthy. And don't ever be afraid to reach out for help. It is so easy to isolate yourself by yourself. You don't want to be around people, and I strongly encourage you, don't do that. Reach out, get some help. Your friends love you, your parents love you. Get them around you and reach out. You can, it's anything's possible. Anything's possible with God. Luke 1:37 says it. With God, everything is possible, and I believe that. I just encourage everybody to believe that. Never give up on hope. So one thing that's come out of the loss of our son is our family has been very involved with the ministry. It's called Hill Coast Ministries of Platte County, and we started a division of that helps kids, young adults with mental illness and mental depression and anxiety and all, and gives them a place to go. And we have 2 psychologists and a psychiatrist in case they do need to have been on medication and all. And our family has decided to really dive into that, and we have. And it's a way to help many people. And cool thing about it is Hunter's going to have his building where Hillcrest office is out of, and on one side of it, in big letters, it's the Hunter Burch Center. And I know that puts a smile on Hunter's face in heaven. He's always a person that wanted to help others, and he's watching this and seeing it and seeing the good it's doing, and it feels really good to us, and I'm sure to him as well. I'd like to close this video by thanking Don. Don, I appreciate you as a friend, appreciate you as a human. I love your passion for the outdoors, love your passion for God and your faith. You make me a better person. And hopefully I make you a better person. That's what we do as friends, right? Iron sharpens iron. I know if Hunter had the opportunity to meet you, the two of you guys would have got along wonderful. You would have loved him, and I know he would have loved you. But I just want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to share Hunter's story on your platform with other hunters and other outdoorsmen that listen to this. And I just encourage everybody that's an outdoorsman, if you're sitting in there in the woods, enjoy every second of it. And more importantly, if you're watching this on Thanksgiving Day when it comes out, I encourage you to reach over to whoever's next to you, give them a hug, tell them you love them, and cherish these moments, because life is fast and life is fragile, and enjoy every second of it.